good afternoon. Today we have Vaib Deshpande, captain of our ones.
Thank you so much, Lee. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome. Vaib, you've been in the club 12 months. How has it gone the first 12 months?
It has been a fantastic journey, actually. How we got here, obviously there's quite a bit of backstory to it. For the purpose of this interview, I would not go into the entire detail of it.
Yeah.
But it was, we came back, we were allowed to play cricket very late last year. So in middle of September, when we first sat down for a conversation to explore opportunities at Preston, you welcomed us with open arms, and you and everyone at the committee welcomed us at the club and gave us the opportunity to play. So we really appreciate that, and it has been a fantastic environment. It's a club that has got a lot of history to it. A beautiful setup, a lot of fantastic ground, and the people here are amazing. And I've really enjoyed my time at the club, and now really looking forward to what the next 12-24 months have in store. So yeah.
Fantastic. Just before we get into that, let's talk about you.
Yeah.
You've been in Australia 8, 9 or 10 years or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Whereabouts in India do you hail from?
Yeah, so I was born in the city of Jaipur, in the state of Rajasthan, sort of northwest.
Yes.
In India. Then I did my schooling in Jaipur, and then for my graduation and my bachelor's degree, I went over to New Delhi.
Right.
Did my bachelor's in accounting from Delhi University, and at that time I was playing cricket throughout, from junior categories through my districts and for my state.
Yes.
And then so pursued that as a professional career pathway, and in 2008 sort of I made a step into first class cricket.
With Rajasthan?
With Rajasthan, yes. And most of my time was during my graduation times in Delhi. I was shuttling, and it's a 4-hour travel from Delhi to Jaipur.
Yeah.
And most of our obviously camps and obviously training sessions were based in Jaipur predominantly. So I was shuttling a lot, and missing studies, missing college was tough, but my priority was always cricket. So that took precedence over everything else.
How old were you when you made your first class debut?
Oh, it's an interesting question. I think I was 21. 21 years and a few months.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it was a brilliant experience, and the way sort of I got there, I think I played. We had what you have sort of the seconds 11 in Australia. It was sort of the under 22s set up in India at that time. So I was playing that. I think I scored the last game of the season for the under 22s that we were playing. I think we were chasing a target of 360 or something that we had to make, and we had a day's play left. 90 overs last day of the game that was left, and if we had not won, we were there was a relegation system. So if you finish at the bottom of the table, then you get relegated into a played group, sort of lesser competitive teams, and for it was sort of inevitable, crucial for us to win that game to make sure that we maintain our position in the elite division. So yeah, I managed to get a ton on that day. It's an unbeaten ton, and we won in I think about 6 overs to spare, and with 6 wickets in hand. So it was a good win, and that sort of led my way to be selected into first 11s, first class cricket. I think it was the 4th round of the season for the first 11s at that time. We were supposed to play Hyderabad.
Yes.
When I got the news, it was very exciting times. I was sort of expecting it.
Yes.
That it was because I had a pretty good season by that time in the under-22s, and so I was sort of expecting it. But obviously, when the news came, it was a very sort of proud moment for the family and myself. And the interesting thing about the game was I got an opportunity to play against VVS Lakshman.
Oh, right.
So someone that I really idolized growing up, and I really enjoyed watching him bat. And there's a funny story to it that I think the first day Hyderabad batted, and at the sort of 3 overs to the before the end of day's play, was feeling in mid-wicket, and I think Lakshman was batting at about 65 or something, and one of the fast bowlers bowled him a bouncer and he pulled, and I dropped him at 65. Oh. So, and next day he went on to score a double 100.
Okay.
So we were in the field for about 178 overs, and I still get a lot of backlash on that drop catch whenever I talk to my mates back home, and I sort of now jokingly tell them, hey, I wanted to watch VVS bat.
Yes.
It's not that you get to play with him every single day, so I wanted to watch him bat. But yeah, it was a fantastic experience. I think I got about 70 or not out in my first game, and I had sort of really bad nerves when I went into bat. I think I batted number 6. Mm-hmm. In that game, it was did have some nerves, but when I hit my first boundary, it sort of settled down after that, and after that, it sort of just felt like I felt at home.
Okay.
So, yeah.
How many games did you play first class cricket?
I think I played about 13 or 14 games.
Yes.
In the ones, then obviously played a few of the List A games as well, and we had T20s in that comp as well. Yeah. These were sort of scattered across a few different seasons.
Yes.
We played 2 seasons where we won the national championship. Okay. The first season, I think I played about 4 or 5 games, and I was averaging 50. Wow. And the competition was so tough at that point that and this probably does not happen very usual, that when a batsman is sort of averaging close to 50 and is being dropped off the playing 11 to make room for someone else. But the guy who replaced me went on to score 3 tons in 3 games. So look, it was probably at a time where cricket in Rajasthan was really flourishing. A lot of young players were coming up, and we won national championship 2 years in a row. Wow. First year, I think, so there are about 28 or 29 teams that were participating in the Ranji Trophy first class setup, and in the first year, it was the season of 2010 and 2011. Rajasthan was ranked 27 out of the 28 teams, so we were the second from the bottom. From there on, to go and win the championship was
massive.
We did not expect it. To be very honest, we never thought that we would get that far. It was just one game at a time for us. But just how it transpired, I think everything sort of just fell into place each game, and someone would step up at every given point, every given junction, and it just so happened. So
what an amazing experience!
It was a fabulous experience. Fabulous experience.
So your first class average was pretty respectable.
Yeah.
You bowled your offies.
Yes.
Were you an occasional bowler, or were you right in the mix as
in my sort of first class setup, my bowling was not. I think probably the captains I had were not. I was partially used, if I could call it that. I was more used in probably in the one day the T20 setup. Okay. I bowled a bit more than the first class. Okay. 4-day games. Yeah. One day as a T20 sort of I had decent bowling opportunities, but predominantly my game was set up being a batter. Yeah. So that's how it was set up. My bowling sort of started developing at sort of a later stage. Okay.
So when did you come to Australia?
I came to Australia, I landed on the 1st of March 2017. Right. And it so happened in 2016 I was playing a local club game where I was running. I sort of locked my knee. My foot got stuck in a wet patch. I twisted my knee, and from there on I had quite a lot of sort of rehabilitation programs. Consulted 3 or 4 physiotherapists who suggested surgery to me. Yes. So at the, I think, September, October, I went and at that time, the best sort of orthopedic surgeon in India, got an appointment with him, was ready to get operated. But I think I just met a fantastic doctor who, when he saw me, he said, I don't need an operation, and I should be able to get better with time and with some good rehab programs. And if nothing else worked, we might just give you a steroid injection. But you definitely don't need a surgery. So it was very refreshing to hear that from a doctor, that you don't want to operate. But at that time, obviously, my cricket wasn't going the way I wanted it to. In the first class setup, it was, I think my performances were not up to the mark, just being brutally honest. And I was looking at a few different options. And just at that time, my elder brother, who's now based in Sydney, he had been in Australia for about a year or so at that time. And just a conversation with him, he said, why don't you explore coming over and see what opportunities might lay over here. So he just suggested a visitor visa, but it so happened that I was employed with the tax department in India as well. So that was a full-time job that I had alongside my cricket, and that's something that I never envisioned myself doing. So I said, I was traveling back home from work one day, and I heard on the radio that was an education fair for Australian universities happening in India over a weekend, and I decided to sort of pursue and explore what I could get out of that. So went to that show, had a conversation with a few of the universities. I really wanted to pursue sports management, an idea that was in my head a few years back as well, but back then I was focused more on cricket, so never pursued that. And then Australia sort of just so happened, and I also looked at UK and US as an option to go and study, but just sort of for a few different reasons, Australia was came out to be the best option. So then I landed in Melbourne. Didn't go to Sydney, but my brother was there, so I came to Melbourne, and since Melbourne has been my second home now.
And we're the better off for it.
Absolutely.
And not long after you arrived, you joined the Hague Faulkner Club. And played there for 7 years or 6 years with incredible success. Would you win about 4 premierships in that time?
No, actually, there's when I first landed here, I started with a club called St. Bridget's St. Louis.
Right.
That played in at that time was the DDCA competition.
Right.
So played with them for 3 seasons.
Yes.
2 seasons as a professional player and coach.
Yeah.
The first season we made it to the finals, which was, I think, after a 10-year gap for the club. In the ones, we lost in the finals to a club, but it was really sort of my first taste of playing cricket in Australia. A quick funny story was the game was scheduled I never knew the game was scheduled at 1. So my first game, I reached the ground at I think about 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning. And when I went there, the covers were on and no one was there. All the rooms were closed and everything. I called up the president. It's like, what's going on? Has the match been cancelled? And he said, what are you doing at the ground at 9? It's like, the game starts at 1. I was like, okay. So that was a bit of a funny incident that happened. So I played 2 seasons with them as professional. Third season, I had been in Australia for 3 seasons, for 3 years by then. Hadn't gone back home. So I just played, I think, half a season. I wanted to travel back home, and that year I got engaged as well.
Right.
So a few family commitments came in, and with sort of cricket took a backseat. And I think it was in early 2020 that one of my friends who played for a different state back in India, but we had played against each other quite some time through junior cricket and coming into senior cricket as well. I saw one of his pictures with Flinders Street Station as the backdrop.
Right.
I was like, what is he doing in Melbourne? So I reached out to him, we had a conversation, and that's how I got connected. He played at Hague Faulkner that year. Yeah. That's how I got connected to Amit.
Okay.
And from there on, I think the 2021 season was my first year at Hague Faulkner.
Yes.
So I think that was first year. Then we I think I played 3 seasons for them.
Yes.
And in that we won the first season I was there. We won the comp-wide VTCA T20 Premiership. Then the next year. We sort of ended up runners-up in the T20.
Yes.
I was given an opportunity to captain that year. Then we reached the finals of the grand finals of the senior division. The main sort of season, and it was the best of 3 finals. We were playing against Aberfeldy at their home grounds, all 3 games, because they finished, I think, a couple of points ahead of us in the season ladder, home and away. We lost the first game pretty badly. We were chasing about 190, and we were at that stage. We were, I think, 5 for 40.
Right.
So I think, and we had lost that game in about that half an hour, 40 minutes, and we batted pretty badly. First real bad collapse that we had for the season happened in the grand final. The first of the grand finals, the best of 3. But then it was all 11 of us sort of sat down and just had a heart-to-heart conversation with each other. We really had gelled together as a team that year, and that was sort of my input as a captain, leading a bunch of different individuals from all different backgrounds and nationalities. It was important to sort of let go of all inhibitions and play freely and just express ourselves going out there. And we decided to stick what we did best through the season. And then we played on the following the next Saturday and the Sunday we played was the second of the grand finals. And when we went to the ground, they had, I think, about 200 supporters.
Right.
They had lined up in terms of they were expecting them to win and have a celebration, win the grand final 2-0. It was a fantastic turnaround that we had, that we sort of come from behind. I think we chased down about 180. There's 4 or 5 down in the second of the grand finals. We squared it up 1-1 with 1 game to go on the following week. And we came back, we bowled them out for 110 and won the grand final 2-1. So after 1-0 down.
Okay.
So it was fantastic. And it was even sweeter because we had lost the T20 grand final to Aberfeldy as well.
Right.
So it was nice to get one back. So, but felt really nice. And I spent another season where we, after that, where we reached the finals. I was again given the opportunity to captain. So we reached the finals. Just had a bad game. In the finals against Deer Park that year, the following year, and that was sort of, and a few different things happened in the background. So.
And then you arrived at Preston last year.
Yes.
And.
Yes.
What a season you sort of had as a debut for the club. 600 runs, or thereabouts. Plenty of wickets. Took some nice catches in the slip as well, but made a huge impression. What were your thoughts of the sub-district competition in your first season?
The sub-district competition, I think it was. It's a very good competition. It's I really like the infrastructure with the sub-district comp. The wickets are beautiful.
Yes.
The grounds are lovely. And as a batsman, that's all you need. You need to make sure that you get value for your shots. And I think that was the difference from VTC we played before and sub-district. The grounds are beautiful.
Yes.
And the quality of wickets makes it so much more easier for a batsman to have some decent knocks. And that really sort of stood out. And the competition is really good in terms of most of the teams are very, very close in terms of how balanced they are. Strengths and weaknesses are very similar. So in terms of it makes it a really good contest. So got an opportunity to play to quite a few different players within the sub-district comp, and it's really well run. I think we missed qualifying for the finals by some percentages, so it was a really good start for a few things to come.
Exactly. I might say the 600 runs, you suffered an injury towards the end of the season, which you missed a couple. So So it could easily have been plus 700 runs. So roll the clock forward. At the end of the season, we made a big appointment as you as club captain. Because of the impression that you made around the club, the fact that you're a quality player, you led beautifully, and having played first-class cricket, you'll be able to educate the team. So it's been a big winter for us since your early appointment back in April, I think it was. So we've had a big pre-season. Introduced by the academy, which you participated in with the coaching, the under-15 Craig competition, which you participated in as well and helped with the selection, and then the 8 weeks or so that we had at Cutting Edge, and we've been back at PCO for a week, and this is how the game should have been today. But rain and lack of preparation of the wicket caused by rain has been a problem. So we're going into the season. There's a feeling around the club of that we're on a journey of improvement. How do you see it?
I think it's a fabulous situation that we find ourselves at Preston Cricket Club. Firstly, I would really like to take this opportunity to thank Lee, you as being the president of the committee, and everyone, Mr. Richard Norris, and everyone in the committee to find myself worthy of the opportunity to be considered for captaincy of the first 11s of Preston Cricket Club. I truly appreciate that, and I truly value the opportunity given to me. And your kind words mean a lot. So thank you so much. And as you said, we've had a really big pre-season. I think the group is coming along really nicely. People are putting in a lot of effort, which is so good to see, because that's the only part of in a professional sport or in any arena, that's what you can control. You can only control the process. The result is a result of the process. Right. So, and that's what the messaging has been from us to the youngsters, to everyone in the group, that focus on doing the right things right, and just leave the results to how it turns out, and we'll accept it, and we'll do better next time. And that's the journey that we are on, and that's what we aspire to do. In terms of the Craig Shield, in terms of the junior academy, I think it's so heartening to see more than 100 young kids turn up and be part of the committee, which is, I think, a record number for the club. So there are things that are put into place that are making a difference, and it's going to be that under 15s, under 17s, and the young kids who would be stepping up and taking Preston for the next 10, 15, 20 years. And if I can contribute 2%, 5%, 10%, whatever that number is, I don't know. But in any shape or form, I think that would be the best outcome I could take out of my time being in the position that I am, and what has been sort of provided to me. So yeah, really looking forward to it, and I'm sure it'll be a big season in all shapes and forms. So yeah, really excited, and hopefully the weather stays dry next week and we get on the field, and because it's about time that we get on there, because I think everyone in the group, all the players are itching to get back on the field and have a full game of cricket. So yeah, really looking forward to it, on how it all turns out.
Fantastic. Well, what we'll do is we'll check in a couple of times during the season to see how we've progressed and what your thoughts are going forward. But Bullens fans, past players, come back to the club. This is going to be an exciting year for us.
Absolutely.
Vaib, thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Lee. I really
wonderful.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And thank you again.
Thank you so much.
All right.